Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. This is Jim Hacking, your immigration lawyer extraordinaire. Hope you all are doing well. This is episode number 338 of the Immigration Answer Show. Special early edition. We did not want to compete with your St. Louis Cardinals taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. I'll be leaving here in just an hour to go home and watch the Cardinals for their first game of the year. This is the first time in quite some time that all 30 major league teams will be playing on opening day. It's pretty exciting. For some strange reason, we are playing the Blue Jays of Toronto, but we're happy to have them. This is going to be the first time ever, I believe, that the Major League Baseball teams will all be playing every team every year. So that's going to be fun. It's exciting. We don't have to see the Pirates and the Reds every third weekend. I'm also sporting my San Diego State gear. They're in the Final Four. My son Ismail is a junior at San Diego State, so we're happy for him. And I can't let go that our friend Leo Messi crossed over the 800 goals mark 2 nights ago. He scored a hat trick against Curacao. It's pretty exciting. But enough about sports. We're here to talk about immigration. I'm going to go for the full hour. I'm going to answer as many of your immigration law-related questions as I can. I hope you all have had a good week. We'll be here today and tomorrow and probably all through the weekend. We're going to do as many shows as we can during Ramadan. This is day 8 of Ramadan. I saw the quarter moon yesterday, so things are good. We're moving along. And now we're going to talk about immigration. So everybody, let me know where you're watching from. Leave us a good comment. We always love seeing comments like from our good friend We always wishes Noor the best. And we're always happy to see We. Nurse Laura is here. All of our favorites are here. It's a good day. Happy Thursday, as Laura states. And go ahead, if you haven't, let everybody know who you are. It's funny. I think that the people in the comments all feel like they know each other because they're all talking to each other all the time, especially when our good friend Shabazz shows up. So whenever Shabazz shows up, the comments go crazy. So go ahead and leave us some comments. Huli's here. She'll monitor the comments. She'll keep things going. We don't really monitor the private chat. You can put things in there, but we don't always see it. Your best bet's going to be to click on that link that Huli dropped to come into the waiting room and ask me your question. And it looks like Alfred is ready to go. Let's start with Alfred. Hi, Alfred.
Hey, Jim. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I'll try to make this quick. I'm just going to give you a little backstory. I started chatting with my future wife online in 2010. In 2014, I went to Colombia and to meet her 2 children and kind of get a feel of her culture. And we wound up having a child together. Fast forward a year later, and the 15th of 2015 in December, we came back to Chicago for like Christmas with the family. I haven't seen him in a while. I want to introduce him to my son. And we never went back. My son had unfortunately gotten severely ill, so we stayed here. And I made the decision to stay close to relatives and the medical facilities that I'm familiar with. The following year, in 2016, we got married.
How's your son doing?
It's just kind of weird. He had some real bad asthma, and he's been doing a little bit better until this week. He had a major attack. He was back at the hospital. So we thought maybe it was something that was he kind of grow out of, and he just can't seem to shake it. So, but he's fine. He's completely normal. He just gets these episodes once in a while, and they can go sideways real quick.
So Alfred, the U.S. citizen, and Alfred's son, the U.S. citizen, are both in the United States, but mom is now married and still in Colombia.
No, everybody. I brought everybody to Chicago.
Oh, mom's here too. Okay. Oh, great. Oh, good.
Her 2 kids, the little baby. Now he's 7.5 years old. We got married in 2016, and I didn't file until May of last year. So May 2022, we did the I-130, the 485.
Why'd you wait so long?
I tried to hire an immigration lawyer, one that was from the hometown of my wife's, and she said, "Oh, you're self-employed. They'll never approve you. You're going to have a tremendous amount of money in the bank." In that, because
this is a fool you were talking to.
Apparently, and what kind of prompted me to say, "Hey, I might be able to do it," is her son, my stepson, actually, when he was going to college, fell in love, met a girl, and got married. and he didn't have he hadn't gotten employed yet because he was not a citizen. He didn't have work authorization. Got a sponsor, and he went through the whole process and got his green card, and he didn't even have a job.
So he beat mom to the green
right,
card.
Exactly. So now everybody's looking like, what's wrong with you, you moron? And so he helped us kind of get all our ducks in a row. We did all the filing, the I-130, the 485, and then shortly thereafter we did the biometrics. And then in November that year, 2022, I got a request for more evidence saying, hey, fill out this I-130. But we already filled out the I-130. So it didn't say anything other than just fill out the I-130. So we just filled it out again.
Was it the I-130A?
Yeah, I-130A. I'm sorry. It wasn't.
Had you already filled that out?
Yeah, when we first submitted all the with the 485.
The I-130 and the I-130A are two different forms, right?
I think that they are, but I don't know the difference.
Yeah, so the I-130 is all about you. The I-130A is all about her.
Okay, so that she was the one that filled it out. So she sent her. We sent it in. We electronically uploaded it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was received, and we got the response that it was received. So the delay from the request until the response was about 8 days. I mean, it was a turnaround really fast.
It's an easy form.
And then like a week after that, my daughter received her work authorization. Cool. So she got her work authorization, and then she turned 21 December 30th of 2022. So we put all the expedited stuff on it because we know she's potentially, to age out.
Yeah, which is a whole other reason you should have done this 5 years ago when you came here.
Right. So I know that they talk about when you get a request for evidence, it's bad. And the other thing you say it's bad is when you're out of status for so long before you file.
Well, but that's okay. I mean, she's married to a U.S. citizen. You have a kid. It's a legit relationship. Okay, so what questions, Alfred? I want to get to your questions.
No, I understand. So the question is, how much delay? So now April 1st is Saturday. What is the delay on the request for additional evidence? You said it's usually twice as long as whatever the period of time that it takes. It took 8 days to turn around the document.
When did you file the case?
May of 2022. Okay. Like a year ago and in a month.
And Chicago field office is pretty busy. So you filed. So how many stepchildren do you have? 2?
So that I support 1. So
there's the one that came and married the U.S. citizen and got his own green card. So I just want to make sure you filed an I-130 for your wife and one for your stepdaughter.
Yes.
Okay. And the question is, how long should that take? I mean,
how long is the delay from the request of evidence for filling out an I-130A?
I don't know. A month. I don't think that's why it's delayed. I think it's probably delayed because it's a screwy timeline, and they're wondering why did he sit on this case for 4 years. And I think it's just normal processing in Chicago. I don't think you need to worry too much about the RFE. That's the least of the issues.
What would I do as in relation to the age out?
Well, the question is whether she's going to age out. So we need. How old was she? What was her actual age when you filed the I-130?
20.
20 and how many days and stuff?
20 and 6 months.
So there's a whole calculator as to whether or not she might be okay because she's here in the United States, but I'd have to sit down and do the whole calculator thing. But she might have a problem.
Okay. And there was some law that I thought was passed that if you filed while they were still...
Well, there's the Child Status Protection Act, but that's where the calculation comes in.
Right. And I think
I'll tell you, if you email me the receipt notice for her and her date of birth, I'll figure it out and I'll let you know.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Bye, Alfred.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Make sure you file as soon as you can. Don't wait. That just causes more problems. Warren's watching from California. Hi, Warren. Good to see you. Yeah, everyone, please give us a like or a review if you can. Jackie's here. Let's say hi to Jackie. Hi, Jackie.
Hey, Jim. How are you?
I'm doing great. What's up?
Well, I really appreciate everything you're doing, and I have a question.
Go for it.
My son, he's living in Japan. He's been there over a year now. Him and his wife got married in November, and sometime this year, they may be relocating to the U.S. And so I understand that for his non-immigrant wife, she's Japanese, that he would have to file the 130, 130A, 131, 145, 765,
Nope.
860, no, 765, 865.
Does she have a visa to come to the United States right now?
Right now, no.
Yeah, so you don't, those foreign,
before.
yeah, but now she's married to a U.S. citizen.
Exactly.
So was the plan for her to get a visit visa and come to the United States, or was the plan for him to file for her and then her to come on an immigrant visa as the spouse of a U.S. citizen?
I think to come on a visitor visa.
Yeah, I don't think they'll give it to her now that she's married to a U.S. citizen. They might. She can try, but usually they don't give the spouses of U.S. citizens a visit visa to the United States because they think they're going to come here and do what you just said, file for a green card. They want you to go through the immigrant visa process and do it all through the embassy, but that takes a hell of a lot longer. So this plan is sort of screwed up from the get-go. They should have either gotten the visit visa and then gotten married, or gotten married in the United States. But now it's going to be tough because she's going to have to list her husband. They're going to see that her husband's a U.S. citizen. I'd say there's a 10% chance they give her a visit visa, and they're going to want to make sure that she doesn't apply for a green card. So then if she does apply for a green card, then she sort of lied to them. So they're sort of stuck now with consular processing, and that's going to take a year and a half for them to come. So they made some mistakes.
I see. Okay. Is there going to be a possibility ever in the future that they could just come to visit and then she would?
Well, he can come to visit whenever she wants, but she's the problem. What the question is whether the embassy in Tokyo is going to give a non-immigrant visa to the spouse of a U.S. citizen. People might comment in the comments about how that consulate is, but in my experience, even if they think you're going to get married, they won't give you the visit visa. But when they know you're already married, then they makes them even less likely to give you the visit visa. You can try. You can say we're going to see Mama and see what happens. But
so what should they do? How should they?
Well, probably if they're not in a super hurry to come, then he needs to file an I-130 petition and get that started. They could try to do a visit visa, but they might lose 3 months on that. They might be better off just him filing an I-130 now with USCIS and letting that process takes a year. And then you got to go to the National Visa Center. Then you wait for the embassy appointment in Japan. So there's lots of steps to it, but screwing around with the visit visa, I wouldn't spend more than 6 weeks on a visit visa. If she can't get a visit visa in 6 weeks, then he needs to file the I-130 and get started. But the most important thing is she's got to be careful about making statements about what her intentions are, because if they find out she's coming to apply for a green card, they're not going to give her the visit visa. And if she says, I'm not coming to apply for the green card, and then turns around and does it, then they think she's a liar. So she might be stuck already by having gotten married to a U.S. citizen before she had her visit visa.
Okay, well, I don't think they're in a real big hurry to come, so I think you'll have time to file the I-130.
Yeah, so I think if I were you, I would have him and her schedule a meeting with one of our intake attorneys, and we can walk you through what it takes to make this happen.
Okay, great. Okay, all right, and just call the number on the website.
Yeah, or you can email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com.
Okay.
Oh, that's true. David pointed out that that Japan is part of ESTA, so that's the visa waiver program. I forgot about that. So technically she could come without a visa on 90 days notice, but then she's got to be careful because she can't have decided to come to the United States to apply for a green card. Now, if she came on her ESTA, came on her visa waiver and said, boy, I really like it here, I think we should just do it all here, then as long as she was truthful with the customs official, she could do it all here if she came on ESTA. Thank you, David, for that.
Right. Okay.
So I think it's worth a conversation.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I'll have them reach out to you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jackie. Have a good day. All right. Sammy says, go Aztecs. That's right. The Aztecs will be playing Florida Atlantic University for a shot at the NCAA championship. Looks like we got some room in the waiting room if you guys want to ask us a question. I see MT there. I'm going to say hi to MT. What do you say, MT?
Hi, Jim. How you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. So I applied for adjustment of status. That was like last year, February, and my I-130 was approved, but my I-485 was denied because of the birth certificate. And so I applied again this year, and again they sent me again request for evidence for a birth certificate.
Okay.
So I don't really understand.
So have you looked at the visa reciprocity table?
I did, but I don't really understand whatever the
Okay, well let's see if
framework.
we can help. Hold on a second. I'm gonna pull it up here. It's sort of slow, so give me a minute.
Okay.
When you came to the United States, did you have a visa? How did you enter the United
Yes,
States?
I came with a visa.
And did you overstay, or were you still in
Yes,
status
I
when
overstayed.
overstayed? Okay.
Yeah.
And what country are you from?
Zambia.
Zambia. Okay, great.
Yes.
Very close to Namibia, right? Because I'm trying to get someone from Namibia on the show.
Yes,
But
yes, yeah, it
we
is
haven't had
like a
anyone, but
neighboring country.
Zambia is pretty good, pretty close. So I'm getting closer. I'm just sort of shooting the breeze while I wait for this thing to load. It's sort of slow.
Okay.
But basically, just so you know, the State Department has gone through country by country, document by document, and they say, this is what a birth certificate from France looks like. This is what a marriage decree in Nigeria looks like. This is what a death certificate in Zambia looks like, right? So
Right.
whenever you're submitting a document to USCIS or to the State Department, that's the document that you need. So they don't believe you are who you say they are, or what do they say in the denial?
In the denial, they said that the letter that I got from the Zambian National Death and Certificates was saying that my birth certificate was delayed. Like it was produced like in 2012, and
Right.
I was born in 1987.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's what I sent to them, and they said it was insufficient. And again, I applied, and they're telling me that they want a birth certificate. But when I looked, I thought maybe it was not too clear because it doesn't really show very well
So can
when
you
I look
see
like online.
can you see my screen right now?
Yes, I do.
So this is birth certificates for Zambia. So it says the name of the agency that you need to go to get your birth certificate is the Department of National Registration, Passport, and Citizenship. And then they describe what it looks like. Green with a date stamp and a unique serial number. Birth certificates issued after 2021 are printed on A4 size paper with a barcode on the back. The issuing authority is the Registrar General of Births, Deaths, and Marriages. It says registration of birth is compulsory in Zambia. If a birth certificate was not issued at birth, but a hospital record of birth or baptismal certificate was obtained, an affidavit must be prepared by a member of the applicant's family having knowledge of the birth. The affidavit must be sworn to before an officer authorized to administer oaths. The hospital or baptismal certificate must be attached to the affidavit and submitted to the Registrar General requesting issuance of a late birth certificate. So, did you do all that?
So when you were born in Zambia, they gave you like a birth record. So that's what my dad took to the national registration to get my birth certificate. That's what he
Right,
used.
but they're saying they don't believe those documents. They need the hospital record of birth, or were you ever baptized?
No, I was baptized when I was older, like maybe I was like 13 years.
So I think you need to get one of those certificates. Like you might need to hire a lawyer over in Zambia to help you track this down, but you need to get that hospital record of your birth. Otherwise, they're not going to accept documents from the Department of National Registration, Passport, and Citizenship.
So like a birth record, like the one they give you, like the short birth certificate.
Yeah, it says if a birth certificate was not issued at birth, but a hospital record of birth, so whatever hospital record you got from when you were born, then you need an affidavit from your dad that says MT was born on June 6th, 1987, and I was there at her birth. This was the hospital she was born at. Attached to this affidavit is a copy of the birth record from the hospital, and then you take that, you make a copy of that so you can submit it all to USCIS, and you get your dad's affidavit notarized that says I was there when she was born. I know who she is. This is her. And then he also has to take that to the Department of National Registration to get a late birth certificate different than the one that you already have.
Oh, so when my sister went to the hospital where I was born,
yeah,
they said I was born all the way like in 87, so they don't have my records, but they gave me like a letter would say that I was born on that day in that hospital. Does that help?
That helps. Yeah. Did
Okay.
you? Yeah, that
Yeah,
helps. So,
yeah,
so
I
then,
submitted it together with a package, and like this time around when I reapplied.
yeah. But I think this is saying it's sort of a multi-step process. So I think what they're saying they want you to do is to get that record, which you have from the hospital, then get the affidavit from your dad or somebody that was there when you were born, detailing, this is where you might need a lawyer's help, detailing when you were born, how you were born, all that stuff,
Okay.
attaching that record, then taking it to the Department of National Registration and getting a new birth certificate with all that stuff connected so that they can see sort of like the chain of evidence, the way that you
Oh, okay.
the way
I
that
get
you
it.
are making this argument that you are who you say you are. I think that's what you need to do.
Oh, okay. So if I just send the birth certificate, they're still gonna deny it?
I
Just the
think they
birth
are.
certificate?
I think that that's right.
Oh, okay. All right, Jim. Thank you. And
Bye,
I have
MT.
another question. No, I have
Okay, sure.
another question. I filed for my daughter, but I'm like the person who was helping me file, like do the application, made a mistake on my husband's like the spouse name, and they put something else name. So is that gonna be a problem?
Like a totally different name?
Yeah, like somebody else's name. I don't know why she did that. She said that maybe it was a computer. Actually, she put her name there as my husband's spouse. I don't know why she put that.
Okay. This person's not a lawyer, I guess.
No, she worked with a lawyer's office.
Well, probably she doesn't, but anyway. Okay, so yeah, you need to change that. You need to fix it.
So how am I supposed to fix it? Am I supposed to send them a letter?
This is an I-130 that you filed, or
Yes, yes,
your husband filed, right?
yes.
Yeah, so you need to update USCIS and let them know that there's a mistake on the form. Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's a big problem. That could really slow down the case.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much, Jim.
Bye, MT. Good luck.
Bye.
All right, Philip's here. What do you say, Philip?
Hi, Jim. Thanks for having me on here.
Sure.
Me and my wife were planning on filing the adjustment of status and all that application stuff. And so, for context, I'm a F1 student from Canada, and I'm pretty sure that you're aware that as a Canadian, I don't need an actual F1 visa to come to the United States. I just need
Mm-hmm.
the I-20 and the SEVIS, right? So, my DSO, when I applied to the school I'm at, she was in her first time working, and she was not. I don't think she was aware that Canadians needed an F1 visa. So she had instructed me to once I could get my I-20 and pay the SEVIS receipt to go back to my country and then apply at the U.S. consulate to get an actual F1 visa. Um, and I was not aware that I didn't need one. So I went to the consulate and I applied for an F1 visa. I was requested for an interview, and after the interview, I was put into administrative processing. Um, and this was in June of 2022. Around August, I discovered that I didn't need a visa, and I proceeded to fly to the U.S. And when I was interviewed by a customs officer, I gave him all my documents, explained the situation, and I was admitted without any issue. And then in October, 2 months after I'm already in school, I get an email from the consulate saying that they approved my visa, even though I'm already in, even though even though I'm already in the
That
U.S.
sounds like our government. Yes.
Yeah, it sounds about right. I was just laughing my ass off, and I was like, "This is weird." But, yeah, I'm sorry.
It's like
But
well, it's like one time I did an internship at the U.S. Attorney's office, and my background check got finished after the internship was over.
okay,
So it's sort of like
that's
yours. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, it's that's that yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah, no, I was laughing and I was going crazy. But either way,
Right.
so long story short, I'm here and I'm planning on getting. I'm already married, but I'm planning to start the adjustment of status. And while filing the I-485, it asked if I was denied a visa, and I'm gonna say no, obviously. But my issue is. On the consular electronic application center, I think it's called the SEAC, it still says my case was refused because I never sent in my passport to the consulate.
Yeah,
So
refusal is not a denial, though. You can say no.
okay, I can say no, but should I put like an affidavit I write just saying like this is my situation and included a copy of the email saying that I was accepted or
Yeah, I don't think you even need a affidavit. I just think a short paragraph explaining what you just explained to me, attaching that approved visas thing. That's all you need.
okay, perfect. And one final thing. I have engaged in unauthorized work prior to getting married. Would this have any effect on my application?
Your spouse is
I'm adjusting status through a U.S. citizen.
yeah. So as long as you don't lie about it, you'll be fine.
Okay. Do I have to? There's no other relief or affidavit. Got to file. Just say
No.
yes to it, and that's it. And
Yep.
okay. Okay. All right, perfect. And also from Toronto, so I hope they smack the Cardinals.
Fun. It'll be a fun game. Okay, thanks, Philip. I'll be thinking of Philip when the Cardinals kick the Blue Jays' butts today. All right. Charles is here. Hi, Charles.
Hey, Jim. How are you?
How are you? I'm great.
Good. So I had a couple of questions. My wife and I applied for an I-30 last year, May of last year, and we were tracking the progress on the portal, and it was saying 2 months, and then all of a sudden, like 2 days ago, it said 5 months. And then I called USCIS and asked them, okay, what's the deal? Number one, they told me that my application had been moved from Nebraska Service Center to Potomac, and my receipt notice still says it's Nebraska. And so the lady wasn't able to give me like a good reason why that change took place. And the Potomac Service Center is like 16 months and the Nebraska is 14 months. So that's 2 months difference. So I'm wondering, what are my options? Number one, is this normal for them to do this without even, letting me know? And so I'm thinking, should I apply for like a K3 visa so that speeds up the process, or should I just sue them as you usually recommend? Or what are my options to get my wife here as quickly as possible?
What's the receipt date?
The receipt date is May 18th, 2022.
So too early to sue.
Mm-hmm.
I would spend no time keeping track of my case until it's approved. You're just banging your head on the wall thinking they're going to act like a normal agency. Every case is different. I don't believe in stated processing times. There's nothing you can do about the fact that they moved it from one service center to the other. You can't ask them to send it back. And some cases go very slowly through service centers that are fast. Some cases go very fast through service centers that are slow. So I would really encourage you not to worry about it, to just sit back and wait for her to come. If you get a year or 14 months after you file the I-130, then we'll sue them and that'll get it moving. But otherwise, nothing's going to work. You're just going to make yourself frustrated.
All right. So I just hang tight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jim.
Bye, Charles. See you, buddy. All right. Christopher's here. Hi, Christopher.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. All right, I have a couple of questions for you. So, all right, currently my wife, she's a green card holder, and I am actually living overseas. So we actually got married since August of 2020, right? And she filed the I-130 around November. She received the receipt in November, and
Of
basically.
last year?
No, of 2020. We got married in 2020, and right now the status is still saying that the case is being reviewed. Tried contacting USCIS, but not been given any, information that would give us an idea or heads up
You're
that
telling
they
me
are.
You're telling me there's an I-130 that's been pending for 2 years and 4 months?
Yeah, strange enough, correct. Since
Have either of you been married before?
No, I've never. No. Both me and my
Neither of you?
wife, we have never been married before.
Okay.
So
and
it's
what's
quite
your question?
strange. All right. So the thing is, since seeing that it's still being processed, she is going to get her interview to become a citizen next month.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if that will, speed up the case, or should we just remain or sit tight and continue to wait?
No, man, I'd sue them.
Sue them? Okay.
Yes. I mean, if a case, there are very few cases at USCIS that go beyond 16, 18 months, but 2 years, I haven't heard of anybody waiting 2 years or more for the I-130 to be approved. That's very rare, even for a green card holder.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I found is really strange. And upon watching the lives and the information that you give out on your channel, really must commend you on the awesome work that you have been doing as well. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah. So that's what we were wondering. So basically, should I just get in contact with your office? Then we move ahead with suing the office.
Just send an email to info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Say, my name's Christopher. I was on at the 29-minute mark, and I need to sue USCIS because my I-130 has been pending for almost 2.5 years. That's crazy. The lawsuit will work well on that case. That'll go real fast.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And once more, enjoy the rest of your day. All right.
Bye, Christopher. Thanks, buddy.
Goodbye.
Oh, our old friend Kapil's back. Hi, Kapil.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. So you suggested me to sue for my EAD and AP. My priority date is July 1st, 2022. Is there any chance if I did that, they'll speed up my I-485 also?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll just throw it all in there.
What is the chance that it'll get I-485 also going?
Could. It
It's
depends
Chicago.
it depends what. Yeah, Chicago. Those guys don't mess around when we sue. This is employment based or family based.
Family based.
Yeah. They don't mess around up there. Now we'd have to ask the question. The only pushback I've ever gotten from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Chicago is when they thought that the person didn't live in Northern Illinois and near the Chicago area anymore. As long as you live in the Chicago area, I mean, we'd have to make a strategic decision because you're well outside how long it should take for work and advance parole. You're not really outside how long, for a green card. So I think I would encourage you to only sue on whatever's important for you. And if the green card gets dislodged, or when we talk to the U.S. attorney, we could say, hey, can you guys also work on the green card? But I think they're going to be more sympathetic to you and act faster if we limit it to what you actually need right now, if that makes sense.
I need green card, not EAD and AP as much. But
okay.
I want to use that sympathy to get my I-485 going.
I'm down with that.
Okay. My spouse is working for federal government. Will they retaliate against her?
I've never heard of such a thing. We're doing a case right now for a DEA agent, and I've had many cases. I've probably filed 5 lawsuits for federal employees. I've never heard of any problems. And
Okay.
That government bureaucracy is so big. Like most of the lawsuit's going to be in your name anyway. It'll be in your spouse's name too, but it's not like there's somebody looking over every one of Jim's lawsuits saying, "Oh, this person works for the IRS or this person works for the Department of Labor." Those two things don't ever cross, I don't think.
Okay. So with 9 months completed, should I get in touch with your office immediately, or should I wait for 10 months, whatever you suggest?
I'd wait a whole year, but if you don't want to now, you might as well do it now because the EAD and the advanced parole are too far away, too long.
Okay. If I take your help to sue now, and suppose it is unsuccessful, and I take your help again at the end of 1 year, will you give me a discount when we sue for the second time?
I do. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
and how much is the fees if I pay upfront?
Yeah. So right now until tomorrow, because our fees are going up on Saturday, on April 1st, it's if you pay up front, it's $4,100 plus $402, so it's $4,502.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
Thanks,
I'll call your
Kapil.
office. Yeah. Thank you,
buddy. Okay. Bye. All right. That was our friend Kapil. We've seen him before. He's been here many times. We always like suing that Chicago field office. They're legit up there. They don't mess around. Ruben's been waiting for a while. Let's see what Ruben has to say. Hi, Ruben. You're on mute.
Hey, Jim, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. If you remember, I was on your show last week, Friday, remember?
I don't remember people that called me half hour ago.
Yeah, I was just explaining my case to you about my I-485 when I receive a request for evidence for Affidavit of Support.
Okay.
Yes. So I was told to wait for 60 days to get a decision, and I waited and nothing happens. And then I put a service request in for 30 days and nothing happens. And I put another one in there. So I woke up today and I received a message from the National Benefit Center saying that they responded to my service request. And I don't know, what does that mean when they respond to that?
Well, what was their response?
They were saying that the status of this service request is on December 5th, 2022. That was when they received my request for evidence. This was my status. So I don't know what that means.
Okay. So what kind of a case is this generally?
It's marriage-based green card.
And when did you file it?
I filed it May 18, 2022.
And if you had to guess, why do you think they're sitting on it? Why aren't they working on this case fast?
I have no idea why they're sitting on it.
Were either of you married before?
No.
Did you had you overstayed a visa before you got married?
No, I didn't overstay my visa. Remember, I was telling you that I came here with on K1 visa,
Yeah.
and we married 2017. And because of financial difficulties, my wife filed for me late, which ICE showed up on my door, and I was removing proceedings, and the judge terminated it.
I gotcha. Yeah, so that's no surprise that your case is taking long. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So when they say they respond, when they respond to the for the service request, what should be the next? Did that mean that they're reviewing it, or it's just a generic message?
It's a generic message that doesn't mean a damn thing.
These people. Yeah. So that means I have to keep waiting, huh?
Yeah, you might need to sue them later when you get ready. When you get the year mark, you might need to sue them. They might just be sitting on it trying to figure out what in the hell's going on, because it's very unusual for someone to come on a K1, get married on time, but not file on time. That's very unusual for them. Then plus you're in removal, then you're terminated. So there's a lot of stuff in your file that has nothing to do with your marriage case, which weighs it down and slows it down. So you're just chilling.
Okay. All right. Well, that was my question. Thank you very much, Jim. We appreciate all what you guys do.
Thanks, Ruben. See you, buddy.
Thank
you. Ann is up next. Hi, Ann.
Hello. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. I'm in St. Louis.
Nice.
I know. Nice. So I'm working with Welcome Neighbor with a Syrian family.
Oh, I was there. I was at their fundraiser last night for dinner.
I was supposed to be there, but I got sick.
That's too bad.
I gave my tickets away. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I wish I'd been there.
It was a nice event.
Yeah, I'm glad you were there. The venue looked beautiful.
It was cool, and we got some really nice pictures. They had these really cool, like almost purple balloons and pink table things. Everything looked sharp.
Yeah, it did. My friends who got to go sent me pictures, and it looked wonderful. And I'm sure the food was fabulous.
It was good. So what's up?
So the Syrian family I'm working with, they have 6 kids. The mom and dad, they were in a refugee camp in Jordan for 11 years. Wow. And now they're desperate to get, that's the dad, his sister, her husband, and their 5 kids here who have also been in that same camp for as long. Mm-hmm. And I'm really confused about the process. Do they have to do something? Or can we do something through Welcome Corps here?
No, it's all done through the UN High Commission on Refugees. There's nothing anybody in the United States can do. I can't even sue them over it. It's just a process that works its own schedule. It's very, very slow.
So is it just luck of the draw, or can the family there apply?
Well, they should have applied a long time ago. Didn't they apply?
I don't know.
Well, I'm sure they did.
We can barely even communicate because they speak Arabic. We use Google Translate, but but some things get lost in translation. So I keep telling them, I think they have to do something, but they keep saying,
it's all done. It's all done there.
Okay, so the UN High Commission on Refugees.
Yeah, if they're in a refugee camp, I'm sure they've applied to go to some country. It might not be the United States. They might not get to decide.
Okay.
But it's the UN. It's the UN that governs all that.
Okay. So also, do you know anything about Welcome Corps? And no. Okay. It's a new thing that the government has just started, and they're
like letting people partner up with families to come.
Right. They're convinced that that's all we need. And so I applied in Welcome Corps. I did, do that. I was hoping maybe you knew a little bit more about it, because it's hard to find out any information.
We might be able to find a little bit. Send me an email at info@Hacking Immigration Law. And we were talking about it with the lawyers the other day. I haven't paid much attention to it.
Okay. All right. Well, I do appreciate that, and I will send an email.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Ann. Have a good day. All right, Manny's here. What do you say, Manny?
Hey, how you doing, Jim?
I'm doing great, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. No complaint. I got 2 questions for you.
Okay,
yeah, I'm applying for the green card. I'm married to a U.S. citizen. Mm-hmm. And there is 2 things that I'm worried about. One is I've been working without authorization. And right now I'm working. I'm using a fake social security number.
No, that's a problem.
Yeah, the situation was well, the employer told me that I have a IT number, but the employer told me that I had to get a, social security number. Basically, he said, doesn't care how I get it.
Sounds like a great guy. Okay.
And this is one thing. So I don't know how worried should be about that.
So I'd be worried. I would bring a lawyer with me to the interview. Now, this is what I'll say about that. Sometimes you get lucky.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to need to be very, very well prepared for your interview. And you're going to have to be very, very precise about your answers. Right? Now, first of all, is your spouse a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Second, have you ever made a claim to be a U.S. citizen? Have you ever, for a job, including that job, said, I'm a U.S. citizen?
No, never.
Okay, so that's important. So then we're talking about, now, I would say that 40 to 50% of the officers who ask the question, have you ever worked in the United States without authorization, and you say yes, and they realize you're a U.S. citizen, I'd say 50% of them don't dig deeper.
Okay.
So this is a situation that I say this all the time for everybody watching. Only answer the question that is asked.
Gotcha.
Only answer the question that is asked. Now, again, you should bring a lawyer to your interview. But if you don't, I want you to watch this recording the day before you go into your interview. Only answer the question that's asked. So if they say, hey, Manny, have you ever worked in the United States without authorization? Yes. Have you ever violated the terms of your non-immigrant visa? Yes. How? By working. And then be quiet. Don't say anything else. Don't say, oh my God, you caught me. I did work without authorization, and I worked without authorization with my fake social security card. They might not even ask. They might not even ask. Now, the flip side of that is if they ask, you have to be honest.
I understand that.
Because if you lie to them, you might not ever get a benefit. If you say it was using a different social security number or somebody else's social security card, they might let it slide, or they might say you need to get a waiver, and that's a whole other thing and a whole other reason why you need a lawyer, right? But depending on who you get, depending on how thorough they are, depending on whether it's time for lunch, they might not get to how did you work. Now, I always, I mean, if I were prepping you for your interview, I would walk through it very detailed, so at least I know. But a lot of officers, especially these days under Biden, they sort of slide past that.
But in the form 485,
yeah,
there is a question about that, and I had to say, yes.
Which question?
There is a question about if I ever work in the United States without authorization.
Yeah, so you say yes.
Okay.
There's another question. Have you ever given any U.S. government officials any documents that were false, fraudulent, or misleading? I don't think you have to say yes to that because that employer wasn't a U.S. government official.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying, Manny. That's how precise we have to be with our language. That's why we have to really listen to the question that's asked and then answer the question honestly, but narrowly.
Okay.
What's the other thing you're worried about?
Well, the other thing is back in 2017, I got arrested. The charge were DWI, but it was a funny thing because I wasn't even driving. But the thing is, no charge were filed. I mean, they dismissed the thing, and I did 35 hours of community service.
Did you get arrested?
Yeah.
So what do you mean you weren't driving? You were sleeping while intoxicated in the car?
Yeah, I was sleeping in the car.
And so you got arrested. So you got to say yes to the arrest question, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then do you have the certified copies of what happened in court?
Yeah, I got all the documentation.
And so what did they come after your license or no?
Well, yeah, they suspended while I did community service.
Okay. So again, this is another reason you really need to have a lawyer with you at this interview, because it's not going to be a fun interview. Which field office is this going to be at?
I haven't filed the thing yet. I just, I'm preparing. I'm waiting for the medical exam.
What big city do you live near?
I'm in Connecticut.
Connecticut, so Hartford, probably, or Boston.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think you probably need some help, and you need to be real careful with how you answer.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Manny. Good luck, buddy.
Bye.
Oh, Manny had a lot of good questions. All right. Let's say hi to Nyarji.
Hi.
Hi, Nyarji. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Great. Thanks. What's up?
Nothing much. I just have a few questions, and before that, I just want to thank you for all what you're doing, and I appreciate that.
Sure.
So my first question is, so I'm planning to adjust my status through a marriage based. So I'm married to a U.S. citizen.
Awesome.
And I initially came here through an A1 visa. So I'm a dependent of an ambassador. So I wanted to know if that puts me in any different category compared to anybody else.
It's a great question. I think it does, but I'd have to research it. I don't have my books here with me, but I think there are certain restrictions on it. And I think you would have been on an A2, right? Like the ambassador was on an A1 and you were on an A2 probably, right?
Yeah.
So I think you're okay, but if you want to email me, I can look it up and let you know tomorrow.
Okay. So I just email you on info
at hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then the second question was, so I was looking through the forms, and some of the forms have the same, not exactly the same, but they have like for one form it could say they need evidence of, let's say, birth certificate or let's say a passport, a copy of a passport, and then another one has the same, or it also has pictures. So if I'm to file all these, if I'm to send them all at once, do I have to send multiple pictures for each individual form, or is it kind of different?
No, you'll just so the way that we organize the file is we have a good cover letter explaining everything in order that's going to be presented. Then we have each of the forms, and then after that we have our evidence. And the way that we do photos is it would say, here's Jim and Amani in St. Louis. Here's Jim and Amani in Chicago. Here's Jim and Amani on a trip on a camel in Egypt, right? And then like we put two pictures on a page with a description underneath each picture. So that's how we do it. And then, but we put it all on regular white paper.
Oh, okay, got you. And then for the 2x2 pictures, do I have to give for the I-30 and then for the I-485? Just two for all. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then my last question is about the office. Is it the one in Chicago? Because right now I go to school in Minneapolis, so I have my I'm based here, and this is where my resident is.
Yeah.
So is it Chicago for that?
It's Minneapolis.
Oh, okay. To file all those forms is going to be.
Well, you'll send them to the Chicago lockbox probably. I mean, you got to look at the instructions. I haven't done forms in a really long time, so I don't know. That changes from time to time. But the instructions will say, if you live in this state, you send it to Chicago. If you live in that state, you send it to Arizona, Phoenix.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, I think that was it. The main thing was the A2.
Yeah, send me an email and I'll see what I can do.
All right, thank you, Jim.
All right, bye, buddy. All right. We got 10 minutes left. There's some room in the waiting room if you guys are looking to hop in and ask a question. Brian wants to know how much are the lawyer fees and costs to sue USCIS. So the filing fee is $402. Our legal fee is $4,600. So it's $5,002. If you pay up front, you save $500. So it'd be $4,502. On Saturday, our fees are going up. So it'll go from $4,500 4602 to 4802, so it'll be $5,202 for a lawsuit, and then you save $500 if you pay up front. That'll still be on the books. Cynthia's sharing for us, so thank you, Cynthia, for sharing that. LR0 says the immigration process is so stressful. That could be the name of this show. The name of this show could be the immigration process is so stressful. I'm sort of like an immigration therapist. All right, let's say hi to AC. What do you say, AC?
Hey, Jim, thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
I called you a couple months ago regarding my wife's N-400, and it got denied, like you said it would.
I did?
Yeah, you said because they request for evidence for residency, and you said there's a highly chance that it got denied. So
too much time overseas.
Yeah, she spent like 7 months. Yeah. So I was calling to get clarification. Can she reapply again?
Can she reapply again? Yeah, but see, it's like a rolling clock. So the question will always be, look back 5 years and look for two things. Does she have 365 plus 365 plus 183 days in the United States total in the 5-year look back? And does she have no trips more than 6 months?
I think so, because she applied in November 2021 and August 2022 made it the full 5 years that she was here. She came back in 2017 and she never left.
Oh yeah, so she's good.
Okay, so it was like a multi-step, because I need her to get a citizenship so I can apply for immigration benefit, because I'm here without status, and it's a real bummer. So I wonder if you guys can take on a case like that.
Oh, of course, we'd be happy to.
All right. Okay, so this is your same number?
Yeah, you can call the office, 314-961-8200, or you can just send an email, say, I'm AC. I was on the call with Jim at the 50-minute mark talking about my wife's citizenship case, and we need to reapply, and then we need to work on my case after that. So, yeah, send us an email, and we'll track it down tomorrow, and we'll reach out to you tomorrow.
Yeah, because that would be perfect, because I need a good lawyer like to deal with my family immigration case, getting my wife's citizenship, my green card, my citizenship, and my son has a green card. So I think once she gets her citizenship, the stuff I hear on your show, I think he's eligible to get derivative from her.
Yeah, he might. Yep.
Yeah, he's had his green card for like 5 years.
How old is he?
He's 9.
Yeah, he'll be good.
All right. So thank you, appreciate it, and I'll be reaching out to you.
Thanks, AC. See you, buddy.
All right, have a nice day.
You got it. All right. KHM44 is in the house. What's up, KHM44?
Hi, Jim. How are you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I have 2 questions for you. I have been married with a U.S. citizen in December the 12th, and we filed our documents, the whole document, in January, and I did receive the receipts number, and in February, they in the 4th of March, they request me to go to the biometrics, and I done it on the 20th. The same day they issue my EAD card.
Wow.
Right?
Great.
Yeah, that was great. And after that, the 8th of March 8, they sent me the I-693 deficiency notice.
Great.
And later on the 27th, March 27th, they sent me an email of saying this for the medical report examination that I need to send to the field office. Okay, now my question is, must I go ahead and do my medical examination and send it to the field office, or must I wait for my interview notice?
So first you got the deficiency notice, then you got a request telling you to send it to the field office, right?
Yeah.
As we sit here today, you haven't sent it yet, right?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, send it to the field office, because you probably won't have an interview.
Oh, okay. And the second question is, I do have an 18-year-old daughter out of marriage. And the thing is that I want to confirm, can my husband file for her or I-130, or is it too late?
How old was she when you got married?
18 already.
She was already 18. I think the relationship has to be formed before she's 18.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So,
good. Mm-hmm.
yeah, we'd want to check that to make sure,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you so much. But do I have any chance to file her when I get my green card before she turned 21?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no good. Thank you so much, Jim.
Bye,
We
KHM.
really appreciate your work.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, bye. All right. Yasir's been waiting a while. Hi, Yasir.
Hey, Jim. Thank you for taking my call. How are you?
Great. What's up?
Yeah, so I have a few questions regarding citizenship application, but first let me provide the context so you have the complete picture.
Okay.
So back in 2018, when I changed my status from F1 student visa to permanent resident, for that particular year, the tax service that I used filed my tax returns as a dual status alien, which means that they claimed me to be a non-US resident for the first half of the year and a US resident for the later half of the year, and filed both non-resident and resident forms in a single packet. So IRS did not like this classification and sent a notice showing the changes they have made and that I owe taxes to them. They also advised that my entire 2018 income should have been taxed as a resident alien, not separated as a dual status alien. So since this happened by the mistake made by tax service employee, they did not only pay the taxes to IRS, but they compensated me for their mistake. Now there is a question in N400, and really that is the only thing that is keeping me from hitting the submit button. The question is, have you called yourself a non-US resident on a federal, state, or local tax return since you became a lawful permanent resident? So my question is that how my situation is applicable to this question, and for this answer, the question, should I answer yes or no? What is the right way to approach this?
Well, it's interesting because you didn't say you were a non-resident. You said you were a dual resident. Now, some could argue, like this is something lawyers would fight about. Some could argue that by saying you're a dual resident, you were saying that for part of the year that you were a non-resident. And it sounds like the year before you said, did you say dual resident the year before, or did you say non-resident the year before?
Non-resident, because I was on F1 visa.
So I think you have to say yes.
Oh, okay. But the year in question is when I became permanent resident. The prior year I was
I think I would leave that answer blank, and I wouldn't check that box, and I would have an explanation at the back, and I would talk to the officer about it at your interview.
Oh, okay. I'm filing online, and you have to provide some like response there, yes or no. So should I say no and provide some explanation there, or what?
I think that'd be fine.
That would be okay.
You just want to alert them of the situation. You don't want it to look like you're lying or hiding things.
And somehow, can this situation put my green card at risk also?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that answers my question. Thank you so much.
Bye, Yasir. See you, buddy. All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's show. I'm going to watch me some Cardinals baseball. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central from the house. 4 p.m. Central tomorrow from the house. I hope you all have a great night. I hope the Cardinals win. I hope that the Blue Jays lose, and I hope you all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central right here. Thanks, Huli. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time.